Chapter 13 is our biggest route map yet, as we face off against Camilla and her many allies. The enemies are pretty spread out, but we can roughly divide the map into a southwestern section that secures the villages, a northern section patrolled by Camilla, and Hans's eastern group. We have dragon veins that drop enemies in certain areas down to 1 HP, but we'll have to look out for Camilla, who's given her own dragon vein to use. Camilla is also just a tough enemy as a Malig Knight, so we'll be fighting fire with fire. Using the private quarters, I got Corrin to reach an S support with Saizo, giving him access to Corrin's talent class of Wyvern Rider. On top of his amazing physical combat, Saizo also has a respectable magic stat to make 1-2 ranged tomes work, and Malig Knight lets him be self-sufficient with movement. Now it's truly time for Saizo to take flight and trample everything in his path. While Lunatic is more limited to a 3-turn clear, the lack of paired up enemies gives the potential for a 2-turn. As such, I want to get Saizo in range of Selena's northwestern group turn 1, so that he can reach Baruka's northeastern group turn 2. Specifically, I'd like to move far enough to reach Selena on player phase, so Saizo can defeat her before she switches to the practice katana. Saizo needs Corrin as his para-partner to provide a ton of speed and magic, and we use Rinka's Shove for the first time, so Azura can sing for Saizo after transferring Corrin. With an extra swap from Oboro, Azura can specifically do this from the woods tile south of Saizo, which helps Jacob move further east after a shelter sing, as well as work around Camilla's AI. We want her to attack into Saizo on enemy phase, but she prioritizes using her Dragon Vein. The trigger for this isn't just if a unit is in its range at the start of enemy phase, but specifically if a unit has ended their action in that range. So even though Azura would get sheltered out of the way, we need to both swap and shove so she can ferry Corrin and sing Saizo from the woods tile. For our other combat units, we have Kagero, who Jacob ferries to handle the east, Kaden and Hinata, who each get a spare kill in the southwest, and Hinoka and Reina, who have an important mission in the southeast. I want Hinoka to reach level 10 by next chapter, and she can get there with these 2 fighter kills. It works out so that they target Hinoka because Reina has more defense. Attack stance puts Hinoka at 95 hit, so we just need Reina to land her 80 hit dual strikes, and Rallying Cry saves Reina from needing a strength tonic. I was willing to spend the last of our gold before this chapter, as we get a massive 19,000 gold from this map, and our funds won't be much of an issue going forward. The less tonics we need to reach kill thresholds though, the more we can spend on skill and luck tonics to boost consistency. Because we moved Saizo so far north, we get to kill Baruka right away. However, we also get out of range of a couple generic Wyvern Riders, one of which the southwestern group will have to handle turn 2, while Kagero can kill the other on this enemy phase. Saizo does get in range of all the knights and cavaliers in the northwest, but we don't get to kill the knight guarding the bridge. The enemies in the north all won't move until you provoke Camilla, and the bridge knights specifically don't move until a turn after you provoke her. As mentioned, Camilla is a tough enemy, with enough speed and bulk to make one rounding without a crit not very reasonable. She also has healing AI, and if she gets below 50% HP, she'll just move to one of the gates instead of attacking on enemy phase turn 2. So we specifically want to deal 50% of her health in one round of combat, a threshold Saizo just barely reaches. Hans is also a bit too strong for Kagero to consistently kill in one turn, so Hinoka completes her mission in the southeast, using the Dragon Vein to weaken his group. This lets Kagero kill Hans on player phase, and then the outlaws on enemy phase, without needing a speed level to double. She does need a 70% strength level to one round the cavaliers with a more accurate brass shuriken, but otherwise her consistency is solid. With the woods tile, Jacob pair up, and Hans already defeated, she can survive the enemy phase without needing any dodges, and has hit rates around 90% listed. As our final concern, we have to defeat that bridge knight Saizo left in the west. We want to one-round them, so that we can wait at the edge of their range and defeat them on enemy phase, while staying out of Camilla's range. We can sing for Rinka to get up there, and either have her kill with her new hammer, or provide a big strength boost to let Silas kill with the brass Naginata for perfect hits. Afterwards, it's just up to our remaining crew in the south to visit the villages. The 10,000 gold, heart seal, and spirit dust are all great rewards to pick up, though the talisman and Wayne Festal are pretty much just a bit of extra gold. And technically, for my run, the heart seal is also just saving gold, since the rod store restocks after this chapter anyways, which will give me enough heart seals for my mid-game clears. I don't have enough actions to visit the final Steel Yumi village, so the Outlaws' village plundering AI is technically still active. Since they're not in range of the village though, they prefer to attack if possible, and Kagero still gets the kills. I've also heard complaints about the Cavalier's AI, in that their movement can vary after being provoked. At least for my setup though, they always chose to move south, so I was guaranteed to have Kagero get the kills in place of Saizo. I do want Saizo to be level 3 during next chapter for the all-important lunge skill, and the lack of promoted generic enemies on normal means that Saizo didn't actually get there, despite normal mode's higher XP gain. Still, he'll have more opportunities for experience before he needs Lunge, so I'd much rather the XP go to Kagero, who can continue using her insane growths to reach some kill thresholds in the future. And that's chapter 13 completed in 2 turns. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.